Okay, welcome to the notes on working backwards. We're going to work backwards with similar problems with volume and surface area and all sorts of stuff, but we're going to see them from a different perspective. Instead of looking at the problem where you're given all the dimensions and told to find sort of the end result, we're just going to go in the other direction. So I'm going to work some problems with you and talk about some strategies you can use, and then you're on your own. Okay, so let's start here. A rectangular prism with a volume of 432,000 cubic inches and a height of 12. What is the area of the base? My strategy that I use over and over and over is I write the formula um, like this: volume equals length times width times height, right? And I know that the length times width is the area of the base, so I might even change that when I do this and write capital B, since the question is asking me for the area of the base. Okay, and I know that's capital B. Um, and then I have the volume, which is 432,000, and that equals capital B times 12. And then I'm just going to divide 432,000 divided by the 12, and I get the area of the base is 36,000. Simple as that. The strategy, the big important thing I'd say that I do, and I'll show you how important it is. Boom, star, super important. I put the formula that I'm using in its general form every time. Okay, rectangular pyramid, volume of this, so I go straight to my volume formula for a pyramid. That is volume equals 1/3 of the area of the base times the height. And then I'm just going to start plugging stuff in. I get 640 for the volume. The area of the base is 160 times the height. When I do this in my calculator, the algebra that I'm going to do here, I'll actually show this in my fancy calculator. I'm going to take 640 and multiply it by 3. Get 1920. That's how I get rid of this fraction right here. I've multiplied both sides by 3. And then I'm going to divide by 160. And I get 12. H is 12. Easy enough. Let's take a look at another one. The surface area of a cylindrical burner barrel is 314 square centimeters. So I go to my formulas. Surface area for a cylinder. Surface area for a cylinder is 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi rh. Okay, and then I'm just going to start plugging stuff in. The surface area is 314. The radius is 5, so this becomes 2 times 20 pi times 25, or 50 pi, plus 2 times pi times r, so 10 pi h. Okay, and because this isn't in terms of pi or anything like that, I'm actually going to work with the number pi. So we have 50 times pi is that, plus 10 times pi is that. So I have 3, and I'll just round to the nearest whole number. We'll make these simple. 314 equals, and that was equal to about 157, plus, and this was equal to about 180, we'll call it 188. 188 pi, sorry, excuse me, 188 h. Hopefully you guys caught the same mistake that I just caught. I got the wrong number there. I put something wrong in my calculator. Let's go back to my calculator. This is 10 times pi. So that's 31.4. We'll just call it 31h. Sorry about that. So 31h. Alright, so now I'm going to subtract. We have 314 minus 157. I get 157. I'm going to divide that by 31, and I get roughly 5.06 for the height. And again, you know, did a lot of rounding there to the whole numbers. Then I gave my answer to the hundredth, just trying to change it up so we see different things. Let's see, our right cylindrical cylinder has a volume, so I go to my volume formula. The volume is pi r squared h. Let's see, we have 1,000 cubic inches, and pi we know. The radius we don't, and the h is 8. Okay, so I'm going to do 1,000 divided by 8 pi. When I do 1,000, just real quick algebra reminder, if I divide both sides by 8 pi, I'm left with just r squared equals, what is 1,000 divided by 8 pi? Leaves me with, it says the 10th up here in the directions, 39.8. And then I can just take the square root of my answer here, and I get 6.3. So 6.3. That's it. Let's take a look at another one. Surface area of a cylindrical barrel. So surface area of the barrel, this is surface area equals 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. The surface area is 471, so 471 equals, the diameter is 12, so the radius is 6. So 6 squared is 36, and 36 times 2 is 72. So 72 pi plus 2 times r, again that's 6, so it's 12 pi h. Yikes. Okay, so we're going to do 471 minus 72 pi. So 471 minus 72 pi, and that gives us 244.8. Okay, so we have 244 equals 12 pi h. Then to get h, we're just going to divide that number. We're going to divide that by 12 pi. And we get 6.5. Okay? Let's take a look at another one. Lateral area this time. Well, lateral area of a cylinder is just 2 pi rh. So lateral area equals 2 pi rh. It's 34. And that's 2, when we're looking for the radius here, so 2 pi r, and the height is 5. Okay, so we're going to divide both sides. Again, this is just so we make sure we have an understanding. I'm going to divide both sides by 10 pi. Okay, so 10 pi takes care of that, that, and that. So if we have 34 divided by 10 pi, that leaves me with about 1.08. So the radius is 1.08. Easy enough. Let's take a look at some more. A rectangular prism has a square base, and the side of the square is 3. So I'm going to actually draw that on here. So I'm going to say that my base is this side right here. Okay, that's my base. That one looks like a square. So it says that's 3. So that's 3 by 3. And then it says the volume is 108. Okay, so let's see. Let's find the height first. So volume for a rectangular prism is length times width times height. So volume equals length times width times height. Okay, where's my h? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Length times width times height. Okay, so the volume, it tells us that that's 108. The length and width are 3 and 3, so that's 9h. So then 108 divided by 9 is, anyone? You got it, 12. So that's step 1. Then lateral area, we use that. This isn't uncommon either, is that you find something to then use it to find something else. So the height we now know is 12. The perimeter of the base is 12, so the lateral area is 144. And then the surface area is 144, that 144 plus 2 times, well, the area of the base is 9. So 18 plus 144 is 162. Easy enough. Let's take a look at another one like that. Alright, rectangular prism, square base. I'll use the same base again. Sorry, that's not 7. Has a height of 7. And the square base, they're the same. It's a square. So this becomes 175 equals 7 times x squared. Okay? Then x squared equals 25. So those sides down there are 5. Lateral area is height times perimeter. Well, that's 20 times 7, so that's 140. And then surface area equals HP plus 2B. So that is that lateral area, 140, plus 2 times 25, which is 50, so that's 190. Easy enough. We're rolling right through these. Lateral area of a cone is 48 pi. So let's look at the lateral area formula for a cone. That's lateral area equals pi RL. So we have 48 pi equals pi times 12 times L. Well, easy enough. I'm just going to divide both sides here by 12 pi. And I get L equals 4. No problem. A cube has a volume of 343. Well, the volume of a cube is side cubed. So this is pretty easy. Volume here is side cubed. That's 343 equals s cubed. If you don't know how to take a cube root on your calculator, you look for this little button right here. It's also on the TI, I'm pretty sure. If not, you can use this one right here. Cube root of 343, and we get 7. So one of the sides is 7. That was an easy page. Let's take a look here. A cube has a total surface area of 96 meters squared. Find the length of one edge. Well, the surface area formula is HP plus 2B. Okay? So surface area equals HP plus 2B. Well, on a cube, the height, let's say we call this X. Well, that's X, and that's X, and that's X. All the edges on a cube are the same. So the height is X. The perimeter is 4X. Okay, so X, 96 equals 4X squared, plus 2 times the area of the base. So that's 2 times X squared. So that's 2X squared. So we have 96 equals 6X squared. X squared equals 6 into 96. Let's check that one. Gives us 16. X squared equals 16, so X equals 4. Lateral area is just HP. Okay, the height, again, is X, and the perimeter is 4X. So 144 equals X, which is the height, times 4X, or 4X squared. If we divide both sides by 4 here, we get X squared equals 36. So X equals 6. Easy enough. Find the radius of a cylinder. Volume. Okay, sorry. Starting to lose it. Pi r squared. H, the volume is 950. Pi, the radius we don't know, r squared. Pay attention to this very important announcement. Please come to main office. To main office. Okay, and that's 12. Then we're going to divide both sides by 12 pi. And we'll be left with r squared equals, let's do 950 divided by 12 pi. Wrong button. There we go. That's 25.19999, 25 point, let's call it 2. And then so when we take the square root of that, we're going to get 5 point something very small. 5.02 we'll call it. Alright. Find the radius of a sphere with volume. So volume for a sphere, volume equals 4/3 pi r cubed. The volume is 300 or 3052.08 equals 4/3 pi r cubed. So I want this just down to r cubed. So to do that, I'm going to take 3052.08. I'm going to first multiply it by the reciprocal of 4/3. So I'm going to multiply that by times 3 divided by 4. And I'm left with that. And now I'm going to divide that by pi. And that leaves me with 728.63. And then cube root time. If you're on a calculator that doesn't have the one with the 3 on it, you can push 3, and then this little x to the radical, that just is saying that's the cube root. And then I'm going to use the answer. And that is about 8.99, or we'll call it 9. We'll say that r equals 9. All right. Last page, volume again of a cylinder, except for this time they tell us height, so volume equals pi r squared h, that's 208, equals pi times r squared times 4. Again, 208 divided by 4 pi. That leaves us with 16.55. So the radius is going to equal the square root of that, which is we'll call it 4.1. And then height of a cone, let's see. So we want this height here. The volume formula is 1/3 pi r squared h. So that's 21 equals 1/3 times pi times r squared, which is 16 times h. Okay? And we just want the h. So I'm gonna do this a little bit at a time also. So I'm gonna take 21 and multiply it by 3. That gets rid of the 1/3. Then I'm gonna divide that by 16 pi. So I'm left with 1.25. That's it. Enjoy the notes. Working backwards is hard. There'll be lots of practice in class tomorrow. It's not hard. I lied. It's not hard. It's easy if you set it up and you do your algebra right and you know how to use your calculator. All right. See you in class.